Another AEW show, another belt for Mercedes Moné. She's now sitting on 14 championships at the same time, charging 25 grand apparently a pop for indie appearances. And somehow we're supposed to believe this is helping anyone but her and Tony Khan, allegedly. Welcome to the Tea Drop, where we spill the wrestling truth with no soft behavior. Today we're breaking down Mercedes Moné's latest title win on AEW Collision / Dynamite special this week. Her ridiculous belt collection, the real reason she keeps winning championships, and why the global recognition narrative does not match exactly. Now, this is pure speculation, allegedly. Please don't kill me. If you do, just say it in the comments, whatever. But anyway, let's start with this segment. On Wednesday's special 3-hour AEW Dynamite Collision combo show, Mercedes Moné faced Red Velvet in a Ring of Honor Women's World TV title unification match. Red Velvet's history with this belt is very unique. She won the original Ring of Honor Women's TV title back in July 2024. There she is right here, beating Billy Starks at Death Before Dishonor. In June of this year, she got ruled out due to injury. So Tony Khan had to introduce an interim Ring of Honor Women's TV title. Mina Shirakawa won that title belt in a 4-way at the Supercard of Honor. But then, that was back in the summer. Then a few weeks ago, Mercedes Moné, of course, comes in, beats Mina at Wrestle Dream to become the interim champion for Ring of Honor. Fast forward to this week. Red Velvet finally returns to AEW after about 5 months of absence due to injury, her first match since April 2024. It's Red Velvet versus Mercedes Moné, champion versus champion, to unify the Ring of Honor Women's TV World title. And to be fair, Velvet looked good in this match. For her first match back, she held her own. But in the end, Mercedes wins. I mean, yeah. What else can I say? With a top rope avalanche lung blower, and becomes the undisputed now Ring of Honor Women's World TV Champion. That win officially puts her at 14 championships held at the same time. And we're going to count the weird titles that shouldn't be counted because they're counting it. So we're going to go with their language and count the titles that shouldn't be counted, aka the Owens title. But anyway, let's go 1 week back, because that wasn't the first belt she won that week. Just a few days earlier from that Wednesday show, on November 15, 2025, at a House of Glory show called House of Glory Super Clash at the Big Event New York, Mercedes Moné beats Nor Phoenix Diana to become the APAC Women's Champion. So in the span of 7 days, she won the APAC World title at House of Glory, and then unifies the Ring of Honor Women's TV title on AEW TV. 2 more belts, 1 week. Ultimo Moné in full effect. Yeah? Yeah, okay. Let's keep going. So let's get this list out, because it's getting a little crazy. What I thought was honestly a good thing, now it's become crazy, because I don't know how many suitcases she carries around the world at this point. As of right now, Mercedes Moné is holding 1, the AEW TBS Championship, the first one she won. 2, the AEW's Women's Owen Cup Heart. Yes, call it a title or not, they count it for branding, so we're going to have to count it too. At number 3, she won the CMLL Women's Championship. At 4, she won the Rev Pro Undisputed British Women's Championship. At number 5, she has the Queens of Southside Championship, which is bundled inside the Rev Pro reign. Sits and crazy, they count that one too, even though I think it's unified. I don't know anymore. 6, she owns the Iwa's Women's Championship. 7, the Primetime Wrestling Women's Championship. If you guys know half of these promotions, please let me know in the chat because I already lost it after Rev Pro. 8, Bestia Women's Championship. Bestya, Bestia Women's Championship. 9, Discovery Wrestling Scottish Women's Championship. So I'm assuming that's in Scotland. Number 10, the Body Slam Women's Championship. She is the interim Ring of Honor Women's TV Champion. She's the Ring of Honor's Women's Championship because they're counting it separately for some reason. She is the WPW Women's Champion. And she is now the APAC Women's Champion. That's 14 titles. 14. And on top of that, she's the current TBS champion with a reign over 540 days, already passing Jade Cargill's 508 historic run when she was in AEW. Pretty crazy. But how do we get here? Why is every indie promotion suddenly, well, not suddenly, now, always handing her their top women's belt? So, according to Fightful Select, and take it with a grain of salt because who knows, independent promotions have been actively reaching out to Moné and her team. Many of them want her to win their title because a belt on Moné brings a few things. It brings social media buzz, it brings higher ticket sales, AEW rub, and being part of the Moné run for bragging rights. It's also reported that Moné isn't demanding to win the titles during her indie deals, but promoters choose to crown her because of the perceived clout that they will get because she is their champion. Her asking price for indies allegedly are dated at around $25,000 per appearance. AEW sources say that in line with other top stars, some are charging $30,000 for outside bookings, which probably explains why these smaller promotions she's winning the title from don't ask for her back. Because they can't. Maybe. I don't even know how they got to pay them in the first place, but that means every appearance. So she took the title from them, but, well, she needs to come back eventually to drop the title. But she has it. So the outside business logic from promoter is pay big, book a star, get a short-term attendance spike, slap your logo on a historic run, right? On paper, it all sounds very big time and very global takeover. But that's where the discourse might kick in. Now, let's talk about the other side of this because not everyone is buying the hype, apparently. If her indie fee is $25,000 per appearance, hear me out, and she's got around a dozen outside belts, that's roughly $25,000. Say when she had 12 titles, it's times 12, that's $300,000 on top of whatever AEW is already paying her due to her contract. And realistically, there's no word where, like I said, these tiny promotions are casually wiring her $25,000 so she can come in at once when they're belt and vanish. Now, I get if Ring of Honor, House of Glory can do that, even TNA, or maybe NWA can do that, but smaller, like places that I ain't even heard of from the list I just said, how are they getting it? So realistically, some people are saying that there's only one way that this makes sense, and that's Tony Khan. So what some people are saying is that Tony Khan is either subsidizing appearances or paying those promotions in some form. So they're fine with making their champion someone who's barely even there. Meanwhile, you will see other people not do that, but for Tony Khan and Mercedes Moné, this is how they're doing. And the fact that the standard is somehow between $25,000 and $30,000 a show, at this point it stops feeling like organic booking and starts feeling like Tony Khan is just lifting money on fire to paint the picture of Mercedes as this unstoppable, globally dominant belt collector. This is all being pushed as a historic run, global recognition, biggest women wrestling in the world, which is true. Like we are, I just question what are half of these promotions, and I have to start looking them up to find out more about them. After last week, I looked up what APAC wrestling is all about, and I looked into more other promotions, but it's just it was fine when they did it for a few belts, but now it's becoming like, when does it stop? So let's be real here. Is she really drawing more attendance there? Probably, but is she gonna, after she leaves, are people gonna continue going there? That's the bigger question. That would be nice to know from the other promotions to tell us. Um, and while she is good, she's to some she is not a Charlotte, a Becky, or Io Rhea in terms of mainstream appearance, but it's hard to say that's fair given that those four women are in WWE. So she does have some mainstream appeal for some, but it's not a guarantee all the time. So, like for example, the the big event, Ring of Honor, House of Glory event. Like I said, it probably would have sold out even harder if it was in a mainstream location. But if Mercedes Moné is that big of a hype, I would feel like more people will figure out a way to get there. But those, I don't know. And those belts, are they? The question is Mercedes Moné carrying those belts, creating a bigger promotion for them long term? If she wins the belt, holds on to it for clout, and barely even appears at the company again, how are they actually elevating their promotion or their scene locally? That's, you're renting the title just for a buzz, but is it really giving you that long term value? I don't know. Like honestly, I don't even remember when like how crazy it is for her to have the TBS title. I don't think anyone cares, to be honest, but that's me. The promotion visibility argument makes sense for maybe for the first or three, four titles, but when people still know which belt is which, like when it was four titles, we knew the belt she had, but now it's become ridiculous. It's just a mess at this point. So yeah, from one angle, it's clever branding, but from another angle, it's a very expensive illusion to make Mercedes Moné look like a much bigger global deal than she actually is right now with all these titles. It's some of these titles are small promotions, but I feel if she were to defend it more, if maybe the fees were smaller to the point that these promotions can get her to come back, then I would say this is okay because she's become a defending champion. She's barely defending these titles. She's just going for titles. She's not defending them. She's never giving them back at this point. At this point, it's a game. It's like seeing. Let's see how many belts she gets. Maybe she'll get to 20. I think she's gonna get to 20. She's gonna be 20 belts Moné by 20 sometime early 2026. She'll become 20 belts Moné for all we know. But anyway, it's a crazy phenomenon. And just to compare the picture, the belt train did hit a wall this weekend. Last night at AEW Full Gear in New Jersey, Mercedes Moné did challenge Chris Statlander for the AEW's Women's Championship. This is the second time Mercedes Moné tried to go for the title, the first time being against Toni Storm last year. And at least this is good. She's getting every title, but she's not getting the title of the promotion, the top title of the promotion she is working full time for, which could be an interesting story if they use it right. Maybe that's their intent. If she did win this title, it would have made her 15 belts Moné, but that didn't happen. Instead, for the first time in 134 days, Mercedes Moné took a loss. Her last loss being at AEW All in 2025 against Toni Storm for the AEW Women's World Title. My apology. She went for the world title previously at All In and didn't succeed. At Full Gear in Newark, Stratlander and Monet went back and forth with heavy offense. Monet was chasing that next level, the actual top prize of her actual division and her brand. In the end, Stratlander hit the Saturday Fever and pinned her clean. Not only did Chris retain, she also finally beat Monet after previously losing to her at Full Gear and World's End in 2024. But that was it. So here's where we're at with Mercedes. She is sitting on 14 titles. A good chunk of them not many people know. And I would suggest everyone to look it up. At least I would say do the benefit, look up these titles, look up these promotions. If she's trying to do this to promote these brands, at least as a fan, if you're a big AEW fan, do yourself a favor. Or even if you're a Mercedes Moné fan, do yourself a favor and look up these brands. Do the courtesy of looking up these brands. Do better than me, and see what this promotion about. Hopefully, maybe they have a YouTube or their own website to showcase some of their talent. That way, you can check them out. Hopefully, give them the recognition they deserve through this involvement. And I hope it's for the best. I really do hope these promotions grow through this. Otherwise, it was not worth it. She is the record-breaking TBS champion currently, and hopefully that comes to an end soon. And the indie promoters and Tony are clearly invested in this belt collector image. And like I said, I hope it helps the indie promotions in the end. But at this moment, the reality is that ticket sales visibility and how often she actually appears for most of these promotions doesn't quite match the global phenomenon marketing angle. Is she a star? Absolutely. She's Mercedes Moné. She is a star. She's the blueprint. She is the boss, whatever you want to call her. She is top talent. She is a very good wrestler. Is this run as world belt collector great and make me believe in her? Not really. That's where I think fans are starting to push back. So I do want to hopefully you guys chat in the comment, do you really think this belt run is legendary, or is it its banks of smoke and mirrors at this point? Drop your thoughts in the comment. If you enjoyed the breakdown, hit the like.